first day of camp, how's it feel to get back into the swing of things?
Well, it's good to get back. Our guys have worked hard all summer, just like every other team, and I think they're hungry to go out and prove themselves. Today, we've got to work the kinks out a little bit, and you can tell watching out there. But we've got a long ways to go, short time to get there. But I think our guys will put in the work, and we'll continue to get as many guys ready as we can and get them up to speed. But we just got to continue to make progress.
Coach, with the new rules over the summer now, does it allow you to kind of hit the ground running a little bit more than maybe you used to 5 years ago or so?
I think so. You put a lot of time now in the summer because there are new pieces, and we're doing a lot with our players and making sure that we're teaching as much as we can, and we're instructing as much as we can, and they're learning as much as we can. Otherwise, we're going to be behind. So today, like I said, you try to get out there and get things back going. We did give them a little bit of time off before today, so you could tell a little bit that they were rusty. So we got to just kind of keep working that out and continue to improve and get better. But I think that our veterans know what we're doing, know the package. Just got to make sure anyone that's new can play as fast and as sharp and knows exactly what they need to do.
Talk about the energy level and focus level out there for the first day.
I thought it was pretty good. When you have just helmets on, you're not getting after it as much. But I thought our guys were locked in and focused. And I wouldn't call it great practice, but I think that there was some good effort. We just got to continue to work through that.
What did you see out of the newcomers over there between the freshmen that weren't early enrollees and the spring portal additions?
Well, I think with the freshmen, they have a ways to go, and just the speed of the game and knowing what we're doing is going to take a while. So they're going to have to put in the effort and time, and we're going to have to put it in with them. As far as the guys who are here this spring, I thought they built on what they were able to do, and I think as long as we continue to push things forward, we're hopeful that a lot of those guys can really help us.
Just an early glimpse at Tyler. What have you seen that's promising from him, and what does he need to improve on now with the time ahead of him still?
Well, we like Tyler. He's put a lot of hard work, and I think he knows the offense. He can throw the ball. He can move around. Getting the ability to gel with the receivers is going to be important. So we got to make sure we continue to get that done as much as we can. But I think he's throwing the ball sharp. He knows the package. He's a good leader. He can see things in the back. He can improvise a little bit as well. And I think he'll do a very good job for us.
Joe, those receivers, where do you think you guys are better with this as opposed to last year, what you had with attacking the ball downfield?
Well, I think Chris Bell needs to continue to emerge and be a playmaker for us. And while he didn't make as many plays today, he's got to step up and do it every day. But he's had a really good spring, a really good summer. So we just got to make sure we're doing the things he does well. Colin Lacey's explosive with the ball in his hands. We got to make sure that we can get him to touch the ball enough. That's going to be important. Ja'Cory Brooks showed good things today. He wasn't able to do everything in the spring due to a shoulder injury, but thought he made some plays today. So he's got to become a difference maker and playmaker for us. And then Jaden Thompson's been in the offense. I thought he had a good day. He's got to be productive and efficient for us. Jimmy's still out nursing a foot injury, but he's got to continue to be a force. And then Katarius Hicks has made some plays. Got to become more consistent doing it, but has shown the ability to make plays.
Sometimes in the fall camp, a coach will have a theme or a message that they kind of reiterate all throughout camp. Do you have one for this group this year?
Well, we have similar things every year, but I think in general for us, once you have a fairly productive year as far as going to the championship game, even though we didn't finish the way we wanted, you got to be hungry. And I think you can't just show up and think things are just going to go your way. You got to put the work in, and it's got to be every day. So, a reminder today, I thought they did a good job this summer, but we got to do more. And this month, we got to crank it up and do more, and don't go through the motions and understand that. No, you got to know exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it, as fast as you can do it every play, and you got to make plays. You got to learn from mistakes. So that needs to happen, and I think we manage their volume on the field as much as we can, but they got to crank up their volume in the classroom. They got to crank up the volume on their own to study this and make sure they understand it. Because if not, then we're not going to win those close games.
Lost a couple big running backs. What did you see from the four guys vying for those spots today?
Well, I think Maurice has had a very good spring and summer. He knows the package. He'll do a good job. I think Kewan Brown is young, and he's got some strength and some pop. He's got to continue to get him up to speed, but I think he can be productive for us. Isaac Brown is really fast, and just getting him to know exactly what to do, and then the ball security aspect is important because he is fast. And then Don Chaney's been nursing an injury. We got to get him back.
You guys had 5 newcomers in the spring window, all on the defensive side of the ball. What did you see out of them in the first competitive setting this fall?
Well, I like our defensive newcomers at all the positions in the secondary and on the defense line and even at linebacker. And I think they're veterans. They have experience, and I think that matters a whole lot. So I do see all those guys being productive and doing a good job for us. We've got to make sure we get them all in the field as much as we can. But I like what I've seen from the veterans, veteran newcomers on defense.
Been a crazy 24 hours for you, hanging out in the Bahamas, giving speeches to the basketball team, coming in here, on fire. What kind of jet setting time has that been?
Well, it's football time now, so we enjoy all sports, so that was fun to do. But it's go time, and I just think that every practice is valuable, and we got to make sure we're cranking this thing out, and there's a lot to learn and a lot of areas to improve. So we're fired up to get football going full speed with our guys. We gave them a little bit of break over the last 4 or 5 days to just kind of rejuvenate and get ready for camp, and now it's time to go.
Are there any challenges this August that we didn't have last August, or how's it different other than just they've been through your system a lot at one time?
Well, you'd like to be a little farther along with the guys that have been here, and you like to see that. And I think in some positions we do see that. We've had pretty good success of second-year guys stepping up and playing better the second year. I can see that happening again. We got to get a lot of good work in, and try to eliminate and prevent as many injuries as we can, because we can't lose key guys. So that's important, and you got to really try to balance that. There's not a perfect science to it, but you got to get all those guys healthy and into the game. So I just think we adjust along the way if we have to. We have a preliminary plan going into it, but we got to get these guys ready. And I just think that helmets on for 2 days, shells on for 2 days. When you get the pads on, then we'll know exactly where we're at.
That's one for
You
Coach.
approach these days differently, say, than you would have 6-7 years ago with when you're no pads, shell pads.
Well, believe it or not, I think we were a little bit ahead of the curve as far as the rule changes. We kind of didn't practice in pads as much as you used to back in the day. We've kind of had a few days off here and there that you didn't used to have back in the day. Now there's kind of by rule you have to do that. So I think these guys working year round, yes, you got to push them, you got to work them hard, you got to get them in great shape, you got to get them understanding, but you do have to manage the volume, and you got to make sure that even just the simple pulls and tweaks don't turn into a week or two things. So I just think there's a perfect balance. Man, it's different every year. It's different just based on the guys you have and where you're at. So we just try to manage the reps as much as we can and keep a track of it. But it is important to get in some really good work. So I think we've got this thing spread out. Even tomorrow. Tomorrow's not on the field day. It's a heavy walkthrough day, meeting day, to kind of get them back rejuvenated so that we can start to crank up a little bit more. And then we'll taper off a little bit and do it again. And then after that, then it's got to be full speed ahead.
Direct flight from the Bahamas to Louisville between?
I swam and then walked.